female bees start hatching and need to be mated with. So we won't have any drone bees today, but they're queen bees and worker bees. In a beehive, there may be 3,000 to 4,000 bees. We'll have a double hive, that'd be 5,000 bees. We have a bigger hive, maybe 10, maybe as much as 40 or 50,000 bees in a beehive. Of all those bees in the summertime, maybe a few drones. All the rest of them are going to be worker bees, except the queen bee. Now, this is female and this is female. The difference is there's only one queen bee in the hive. The difference between the two females was when she was a larvae, in the larvae stage, she was fed pollen called bee bread. They collect pollen and mix it with a little bit of nectar, and pollen has some protein in it, but it's not very rich in protein. But she was fed bee bread, and so it took her 3 weeks, or 21 days, to develop into an adult bee. The queen bee received 8 royal jelly. The worker bees have glands on their body. The adult worker bees have glands that produce royal jelly. It's a very, very high protein food that they produce with their body, like a cow produces milk, but it's only a minute amount, and they feed that to the larvae that's going to be a queen bee. So that larvae develops in only 16 days, and she develops so that she has organs in her body. She can lay eggs. This bee, since she didn't get high protein food, she didn't get as big, and she can't lay eggs. She can't produce any babies. So in the beehive, there will be 10, 20, 30, maybe 50,000 bees. Almost all of them will be worker bees. There'll be only one queen bee. In the beehive, the bees have a gland on their body that manufactures wax. And you have glands that make wax down inside your ear. It keeps inside your ear clean. The bee has glands that produce wax. They use the wax to make the cells to put the honey in and to raise the baby bees in. Now the beekeeper takes some of the wax and he rolls it out in a sheet so that the bee makes the comb on this frame so that he can put it in the extractor. Otherwise, the bees put the comb wherever they want to, and it's not convenient. So the beekeeper puts this foundation so the comb will be in the right place. Now, after the bees build the comb and fill it with honey, they also raise the baby bees in the cells of the comb. But the bees build the cells with honey. They seal the cells with wax caps on the top to keep the honey clean. And the beekeeper takes a special knife that's either heated with electricity or keeps in hot water. It's a hot knife, and he cuts the caps off of it and puts it in a machine called an extractor. This is a hobby extractor for somebody who only has 1 or 2, 4 or 5 beehives. A commercial beekeeper may have 100, 200, 500 hives of bees. He has a commercial extractor that has an electric motor on it, and it'll hold 15 or 20 of those racks at a time. The electric motor turns it, and turn it with a crank, and I'll turn it over so you can see. See, it spins around and around in there. When it spins round and around, centrifugal force slings the honey out of it. Now, centrifugal force, if you put a rock on a string and you sling it around and around in this circle, the centrifugal force says something's going to fly in a straight line. It goes a straight line, and there's some force that's keeping it from going a straight line. So you string it around and around. The string is keeping the rock from going a straight line. You turn the string loose, the rock goes in a straight line. If you're on a ride at the fair or down at the park and it's going around and around, you have to hold on. Otherwise, you're going to go in a straight line off the ride. So this has centrifugal force. It's spinning around and around. The honey goes in a straight line out of the comb into the wall. It flows down the wall. It comes down here. We open it up and run the honey in the jar so we have honey to eat. Now, we enjoy eating the honey. It's sweet. Many of us really love honey. Some people don't care much for it. But we don't have to have honey to eat. We can eat syrup. We don't really need anything sweet to eat. We can eat meat and potatoes. But it's nice to have something sweet to eat. But the most important thing about it is the bee is going from plant to plant collecting pollen to make bee bread to feed the baby bees. They're also going from plant to plant. They're collecting nectar to bring back the little bitty amount of sweet nectar down inside the flower, bringing that nectar back to make honey. When going from one flower to the other flower, they are moving pollen from one part of the flowers to the other part of the flowers, goes from the male part of the flower to the female part of the flower, so the flower gets pollinated. If the flower doesn't get pollinated, it'll die and fall on the ground. It produces nothing. So it's important to have bees to pollinate our flowers on our plants. Without the bee pollination, we wouldn't have any pears or peaches or apples or plums. We wouldn't have any watermelons or cantaloupes or cucumbers. There wouldn't be any oranges or tangerines or grapefruits. About 1/3 to 1/2 of the food we eat depends upon bees to pollinate the plant. Now there's some bees that, bumblebees will pollinate a few plants, but we need lots of bees. It's so important that a man that has a field of cucumbers, he will pay $50 for a beekeeper to bring a few hives, for each hive of bees he brings out there, put in the field to pollinate the cucumbers. Otherwise, there won't be anything but vines out there. There won't be any cucumbers out there. To bring beehives, a trailer load of beehives, and put them in the field so that the bees can pollinate the plants so they have cucumbers.